predictions, but I think we're both locking in the safe option here. We're going with the Celestials of South American Counter-Strike. We're going with MIBR, and they head into Inferno, map 1 in our series.
You picked MIBR because you don't want to lose to me in a prediction again, didn't you?
I like to be the contrary, and there was a lot of times where I would cook up some crazy, like, you know, this is gonna happen, and just it doesn't happen. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop messing around now. I'm gonna go with who I really think is gonna win.
All right, well, let's see if it does end up that way. The Killers now starting off with a very early presence up towards Banana. I do like this advanced position from Poppins, the demon that we've spoken about so many times before. As Flystyle rounds the corner, Poppins not connecting her shots. The flash to come through, but it's predicted. Flystyle with yet another one. Sammy's to follow it up, and the B site is free and clear for the taking.
Whoa, that is a very, very nice start to proceedings. And for the Killers, I think you can safely say that these rounds are not going to come easily. So getting a pistol round just right off the bat, putting yourself in a good position on your map pick is a very beneficial situation to be in, because as I think this round is kind of coming to its natural conclusion, the vetoes are a really interesting one as we head into this, because Dust 2, which was the Killers map pick against Bounty Hunters and the map that they ended up winning to get them the series, that's the insta-ban of MIBR, and then we look over to the insta-ban of the Killers being Nuke. I'm not exactly sure where MIBR are putting their vetoes right now, but Goddess was always so good on Nuke, and I'd argued at stages that their Nuke on Fluxo was the best in the whole world in the kind of ESL Impact sphere. But that's the if I'm not mistaken, the insta-ban of the Killers. So you've got both teams maybe not on 100% their favorite ground right now. So I think especially going on to Inferno, the Killers, they're looking to get a good start, and that's exactly what they've achieved.
I'm gonna be feeling good with that one. And it also felt a bit like, maybe not anti-strat per se, but certainly a realization that, like, hey, they like to hold these aggressive angles. Let's fight this. And I mean, Flystyle plays that perfectly. Those shots connect beautifully. And now they're looking for those same positions again, looking to see if that same little level of cheekiness is there. But no, instead, MIBR are going to play a little bit more safe this time. Interesting to note that Younger has opted to buy into the Scout quite early on, and they're coupling that with a FAMAS. So quite a bit of a spend into a round, following a round that they lost. But we'll see if it does pay off. I mean, we hyped up Younger quite a bit. If she's given an opportunity, she might just be able to turn things or keep things in their favor.
And it looks like it's going to be an explosion onto B. This time, Poppins not subsiding. Wait, what? She gets 3? Random push shot through the smoke has connected. Oh, no, she only gets 2. It was an assist.
2, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was confused. I was like, how she got 3 there? But regardless, the sentiment still remains. The Killers, they're not able to work forward on their advantage that they've claimed. And now, in the second round, against the Force Spy, they quiver. Hera will bring back some kills. A nice shot onto Goddess, but it's consolation at best. And unfortunately, that's not going to be comforting.
What's really funny is that I'm mentioning, you know, the Scout and the FAMAS and all of these weapons that have been brought through. And it's like the first 2 kills come from a pistol. The next one is a pistol. And sure, Younger gets one with the Scout, but it's like, FAMAS? What FAMAS? Don't even know her. Hera is now stuck between the FAMAS and the rifles that have been recovered on the site. Sure, Danny through the smoke. Why not? What a fantastic round for MIBR to come out on top of. Quite a few upgrades for themselves. So they come into this round minimizing the amount that they would have had to spend normally. And, you know, unfortunately for the Killers, obviously they forced into this. So they go into the next round with a completely reset any sort of bonus they might have had. And it looks like we're going Tech 9s. I'm ready for this, and it better be aggressive.
Well, we've already had a crazy start. Why not have some more? Fast pace up second mid. Not as fast as I anticipated, but definitely cruising for a bruising as they enter apartments. Wouldn't be surprised if it's just a smoke moto and flashbangs out. that seems like it's going to be the case as Gabby, the front line of defense. Not the greatest crossfire, I will say, for a app swap if it does come through. But the killers are actually transitioning towards short, and this plays perfectly into Danny's hands.
Young is ready as well. Good grief. What is a smoke? Spams straight through, gets that first kill, and now they are kind of stuck here. Waiting for the smoke. Oh, and that actually... What?
Oh, no.
Excuse me? Nah, there's no way. The HE with the headshot to follow up. Now they're trying to chase down the scout. The scout gets a tag onto Hero, tries to run past onto Flystyle as well. Younger can't clean it up, and suddenly this is recoverable. With that kill onto Poppins, this is so doable. Hera deep in enemy territory, and there's still a little bit of a distraction being created by Flystyle. She's keeping two of these players busy. Now that they've gotten her down, they're going to rotate over, but now Hera's the last one left alive. She has control of the bomb. At the very least, she'll be able to plant. But limited HP here. She's already been good for 2, and it's going to take 2 more to make this round a success. Now, there's no kit on board here for MIBR, so if she can just burn down this time just a little bit, stall them out. She's got 1 molly, but I don't know if she's got a good line on it. She sneaks around the outside of the church. No, not opting to push. There's the sound of the bomb. Just a tap, the molly to be pulled out. Now they know where she is. And as she swings, Gabby's there to meet her. So puts her in the grave. And they will get that defuse.
Christ, there was not much time left on that. Ooh, that came down to the wire. And yeah, I was kind of remarking there's no kit. And if that Molotov had probably hit, then it would have, I'd say, ultimately been a round 1. But speaking of this round as a whole, it's just Younger getting isolated, Poppins getting isolated. These Tech 9s able to close the gap and find these kills they realistically should never be able to do. MIBR is a great start for them in the round, and it almost unravels itself, but fortunately enough for them, it's a deep sigh of relief as now they head up against the Ecos. And Younger's actually brought the AWP out against pistols. That can be a very bold thing to do sometimes.
I do love that Danny kind of embodies put your body in the line in that last little bit. Ooh, the hand peeks out, doesn't connect, but now they know the AWP's here. And obviously Younger will know that there's a little bit of presence moving its way in. Flystyle runs straight through, doesn't care, and picks up that gun for her troubles. Now they've got a little bit of firepower, and it's evened out numbers. So it feels like there is a world. Bomb has now made its way in onto the site. It will get planted, but how much more can they get done? Danny's in a good position here, holding the line. The smoke to come through, but before it can bloom, swings out. There will be a trade, however, but with only 2 players left alive for the killers, they're going to try their best to hold the line here. Catches Younger just off the back of a shot. Can't get that reload off, so Hera's trying to buy time. Pulls it. She's still Tech 9ing it. She's pulled up a rifle. She's managed to tick down a bit of time. Goddess is just 2 HP. All it will take is 1 stray bullet to the toe. Can she make it happen? Yes, she can. A phenomenal round from the killers.
You know what I said about it can be a little bit dangerous to buy the AWP against pistols? It wasn't the reason for the round being lost, but it definitely didn't help. Hera, we talked a big game about her. She's been in 3 clutches in three different rounds, and this time she comes out on top. The killers. We came into this game with saying, guys, they can hit heads, they can pop skulls, and guess what? That's exactly what they're doing. The pistols have paid dividends, and because only 2 players for MIBR in the previous round stay alive, money is quaking. It's been a very poor A defense so far, and that continues as Gabby gets sniped off in middle. As the killers, they're trying to focus towards B because MIBR have 3 players there, and this round is already starting in a big negative.
I do like that the killers are opting now for a slightly slower approach. I want to keep things... Oh, man. I did not think that was going to connect. Okay. We just keep things as expensive as possible. But yeah, I like that we were, trying to keep things a little bit more... controlled. You don't want to get overzealous, over eager, overstep your mark, and end up in a, an unrecoverable position. So they take that slower approach, get that early intel, get that early pick off, and then they can pivot off of that. But unfortunately for MIBR, they had a couple of guns coming into this one, and they've lost most of them. Poppins will retain the 1 rifle. but money is a bit of an issue now.
I mean, yeah, it's going to have to be a full eco, and you do have some substance around the M4 and the 5.7. If you were able to save maybe those players at the end that went in quite lackadaisically, then you could have had a little bit more oomph in a round that ultimately wasn't going to be dangerous. But next round, the emphasis falls upon Poppins and Goddess. I'll be honest, this is the start I did not anticipate. I thought MIBR were kind of going to trounce the Killers. And already there's this really combative fight where the Killers are getting opening kills. They're winning aim they're like aim duels. They're just, whoa, I did not know that was how Gabby died. Okay, that is atrocious. But yeah, the Killers, it's this A bomb site time and time again is really looking difficult. And I don't know if starting 3 players B was the right call in the last, especially for starting 3B. Why is someone peeking bottom mid? That's Inferno textbook 101 is to not give up a kill A. But as we go into round 6, it's again not a dangerous purchase, just Poppins and Goddess, and they're both currently in control of B. But it doesn't look like the Killers want to have anything to do with that.
It's definitely the right call, as mentioned. That's where the little bit of weaponry that they have is posted up. I mean, Gabby could maybe get something done here, but and she is in a position in a fairly close range, setting up a bit of a cross with Danny as well from Pit, and an extra cross from Younger. So there's this massive triangle being set up. The moment that anyone pushes through, there should be an opportunity. Unfortunately, Danny gets chunked way down and finally will get cleaned up. Gabby, a little bit too quick on the trigger there. And that round was over before it really even began.
Yeah, look, it's unfortunate that even though there are numbers on A, in the end, it's P250s, no armor. I think Younger just had a USP, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe some damage would have been nice, and I think that's the benefit the Killers have, is not only are they going to have a 2-round gap, they're also doing it with keeping either all 5 or 4 players alive. Money's not going to be great for MIBR, 2,400 loss. Goddess will be doing good to drop over an extra rifle, and for me, what I want to see from MIBR is I don't think they can afford to take 3 players off A early round. I think they're going to have to try to take Banana with 2, and it worked out in the previous. And then the Killers play on the bomb site. Just play a crossfire. Just play pit, mini, pit site, double site. I think the crossfire, it feels like A bomb site's died pretty easily, and it hasn't been the, I guess, crossfires or the setups that I would have wanted. I think this is a really good time for a tactical pause. I think this is a really good time to get Dark Psy. Love that guy. Glad I could pronounce his name. Get him on the mic and just be like, okay, breathe. We're the favorites. We know how to play this map. Let's stop giving up opening kills and let's play our positions.
I think a lot of it comes down to that it starts off with a bit of overconfidence, and when you realize that you're losing those duels that you feel like you should be winning, you kind of get in your own head a little bit, and it's almost like, well, now I got to prove that I can do it, and you start kind of making small mistakes. So to have that kind of person that slows it down and says, whoa, hold on, slow down, you know what you need to be doing, hold the line, you know, keep it clean. That could be the massive game changer that they need. So now we'll hop into round 7. And again, early little bit of util being chucked around Banana just to get that early control. Flystyle has taken so much space here. But it's MIBR that have given it up very, very early on. They know that Killers can take those fights. They're going to be aiming for those fairly standard angles. Oh, oopsie. That's a bit of misutil there, not the end of the world. They've managed to pull out quite a bit more of MIBR's utility as well. And Poppins not really wanting to give them space to move. They're going to spam that smoke ever so slightly. The nade to come through. Nothing really to follow it up, but it is more just about slowing things down a little bit. And Poppins is getting ready to layer yet another smoke. So they're really just whittling away this time as much as they can.
Yeah, this is so far pretty good for MIBR. And the Killers are playing into their game. I wonder if the Killers go through the smoke. They've put down their own util, and yep, here they come. Poppins rotated towards Coffins, flashes out. Goddess sees nobody, but Poppins finds the first. Poppins with another, and this B bomb site is holding. Hera shall catch off one on the lurk, but Bruna Killer actually does have some space, and that lurk kill that Hera got is now really important because it's a 2 versus 2. Younger and Danny, they don't have a kit and they don't have any utility, but the CT smoke has faded, so Hera has to potentially try and cross. Unfortunately, that's not going to be an equity she's allowed to be given for free, and Bruna Killer actually almost gets both, but in the end, it shall be Danny to salvage the round after a heroic B defense.
Jeez, that got very, very spicy. Obviously, they locked down Poppins and Goddess, and I love that they leave Poppins and Goddess on the B side, because you're talking about having 3 over towards the A side, because that's where kind of their weak link has been, but they take 2 of their strongest players, and they station them towards that B site, so that if it does end up being a B hit, you know that there is some strong opposition to slow things down a little bit. It's exactly what they do. They're good for 3 kills before Bruna Killer, with a fairly nasty flick, is able to take Goddess off the board, and at that point, the site's taken over. Now, she doesn't really have the time or the space to go for a plant, because they don't really have a ton of info on the last couple of players, so she has to be a bit safer. She has to wait for her teammates, and that gives MIBR a lot of time to start moving in and getting ready. I mean, you were talking about that kit, but without the bomb having even been planted yet, MIBR had so much room to work with, and they used that beautifully to slowly start closing that gap once again. Only a 1-round deficit here, and despite winning that round, it's not a perfect buy, but Younger does have open hand. We haven't really had a chance to see her pop off just yet. Perhaps this could be the round where it happens.
I like how the Killers are playing Banana. They're changing up their smokes as well they use at the top. So the last round was the progression smoke, and that's when we saw Flystyle getting cheeky around it. It provides that gap. This time, instead of the progression, they just smoke top Banana. And the Killers, free Banana control. It feels like a very similar round where MIBR are just playing for retake util and then dropping down the smokes as a defensive measure. That feels quite heavy-handed, though. There's a minute left on the clock, and now there's no smokes or molos left on B. This could be another dangerous round where we're going to have to see Poppins and Goddess pop off.
Poppins ducks around the corner just in time, but now I think she could be in a little bit of danger with that flash, pushing her off of that position even further, and Goddess's position is somewhat known as well. The Killers learning from their mistakes, very quickly taking down the terrible twosome, and instantly that's going to force MIBR to go for a save.
Really not convinced on MIBR's Banana in Inferno. Like, I was just sitting here thinking, I wonder how long Poppins and Goddess have played towards B together, from their Fluxo days to here in MIBR, and it's as you said, perfect combo. The IGL tends to play B, and then you tend to get good old aimer over towards that part of the map, and I think Poppins kind of fits that bill perfectly. But it's a round where, again, MIBR, they're not taking Banana. They're not taking any space either really in on A. So you've got 3 players just stationed on the A bomb site, not moving a muscle, and MIBR are giving the Killers so much ability to pop through that bomb site, because we're using utility very ineffectively for MIBR. Either a change-up has to happen where 3 players end towards B, or 3 players start like they did in the previous, actually take the space, or the players on A then are proactive. Something needs to change, and I think there's going to be a big difficulty with the players on A wanting to take space, because Hera's already shown her hand and shown that she is a menace around that part of the map. A second tactical pause is no surprise to me right now, but a worrying one, because I feel this Inferno is not looking good to me right now.
And a part of me wonders if it isn't a case of being more confident on that T side. Or this is South American Counter-Strike, and we do know that they have a tendency for very aggressive plays, very kind of powerful T sides. But for a team like MIBR, with the core having been together for quite some time, a lot of those like fundamentals, a lot of those protocols should already be in place. And we're really just not seeing that come out right now. In fact, if I was going to suspect anything, I would think that it would be the Killers who would have a little bit more of a struggle on that CT. T side. But so far, this T side has looked beautiful. No real mistakes being made, but it's good to see a bit of pushback from MIBR now towards Banana. They're looking to contest this, and Younger taking a deep position. Doesn't go for the close player, goes for the far one. Unfortunately, instantly traded out. Now Poppins' position is well telegraphed, but catches Flystyle, who flew up onto the banister. Now Poppins being pressured, being pushed so close to getting that third, but no, instead she will get taken off board. Bruno recovers that bomb. And now she's going to start making her way over towards the A site, but look who's waiting. Gabby up on high. She's going to get the third kill for her team. And now with only 2 players left alive for the Killers, they're going to push this. They don't have too many options. Danny's already taken 1. Bruno's down to 16 HP. What more can she do? Flashed out. Can't see a thing. Her position, at the very least, expected a shot connect, so they know that she's there. And now all they need to do is play off of one another. Don't allow her to isolate you. And instead of going for the kill, she's going to tap that bomb, try to draw out the numbers, goes for the wrong player, and it's Gabby to swing out and get that final kill. MIBR show signs of life.
Bit of muscle memory there from Gabby gone wrong. Don't know if anyone caught it, but she tried to flash short from Pip and can't do that in CS2 the way she tried. There used to be obviously the door you could bounce it off, and it just... I find it funny when people do it because it's like there's no qualm. You know, we've all played Inferno on CSGO for a long time, but it's just, it's funny to see that the muscle memory still there. Like, okay, they're fighting me, they're coming up short, I flash off the door. Oh wait, it's not there anymore. But a much better round from MIBR, a much better hold. Not perfect, but in the end, as soon as they get that kill on Sammy's, they're like, whoa, that's not the that's not the A lurk. There's probably gonna be more here. So a good round for MIBR, a nice change in initiative. And how do they respond now in round 10? It looks like it's kind of back to same old, but the Killers, this time, they're looking to target the A bomb site very early on.
And it's good that MIBR are keeping this hotly contested. They'll at least go into that second half with a decent scoreline to springboard off of. This is interesting from the Killers. They've gone completely dark over towards Banana. But again, MIBR opting to play that little bit further back this time around. And it's a bit of a bait play to an extent. They've left Banana uncontested, showed a bit of presence over towards A, and now they slowly cut noise, slowly move their way up Banana into the waiting arms of Younger, who's completely shut down. A great crouch swing from Flystyle. She follows it up with the second. She's unbelievable. She did this exact same thing on that pistol round in the very, very first. And she'll do it again. Cracks open the B site with a 2-piece. And once again, MIBR left to save.
It's just... This is not the game I anticipated, but I am completely here for it. The Killers map pick, and they are currently leading 6-4. And it's again just sitting on our laurels. MIBR, they don't take any map control towards A. There was no brackets control, no top Banana control, and it feels like Flystyle is just flying her way into that B bomb site, a hurricane that cannot be stopped, and there's just nothing to really defend against her. The utility is being used very early on. When we get to the later stages, there's nothing to dispose of the incoming players, and Poppins... I guess Poppins Goddess, Poppins Younger, it's just that B bomb site in general is really struggling right now, and MIBR... I don't want to say another tactical pause, but it almost feels like it might need something along those lines, or a change of pace maybe, get aggressive in middle, get a very aggressive in Banana, potentially just fly down Banana with the MP9s, just something to break the norm.
Interesting to say the least. It looks like they're not going to take your advice. Couple of shots fired down towards
close enough
in case. Yeah, you know, a little bit of poking and prodding. We do have a bit of aggression, or maybe not aggression, but an advanced position from Younger. If she holds this, oh no, oh dear lord, she's expected. If she'd held her position, she could have potentially flanked around, but they don't have caster vision. They don't know. And unfortunately, she's going to get caught out in no man's land, and that's going to leave one player all alone on this A site as the killers start to circle in like lionesses in a savannah. Gabby all alone on this boosted position. She is someone we've spoken about, one of the newer, younger bloods. Coming in under Goddess's tutelage, but only going to be good for one. Her potential reign of terror stopped down. Now, MIBR have kept this somewhat contestable, but our last two players making their way up through mid. It's Goddess and Poppins, and they're going to have to go huge. I do like that they've gone this way. They could recover a rifle for Poppins here, and yes, that does seem to be the case, but Selex holding this, waiting for someone to peek out, and Poppins will instead run away, hold on to that rifle, live to fight another day, because their money is a disaster.
This is a really clinical T-side from the Killers, and they're playing the style of Counter-Strike that you see a lot of teams institute when they're playing maybe a lesser experienced team. It's just hold, just wait, and if anything, let the other team make the mistake. And that's exactly what's happening. It's Younger being caught off guard in second mid. I think it's a cool play from Younger. I think it's nice. It's something different. I asked for something to break the mold, to break the norm. She does that. Unfortunately, it's a little bit individualistic and it's very isolated. And that was the name of the game for this round, individual. It's just players being picked off one by one. And it feels like we're seeing the same rounds kind of on repeat, where the Killers, they're playing very slow at the start, and then just they're letting MIBR use all the utility, and then just picking off players who aren't in the right positions. MIBR, there's one more round left in the game. They smoke bottom middle, and they're going for an aggressive play apartments. The Molotov missed. Danny now has the ability to finally put her team in a good position, and she shall with an opening kill.
Oh, Sammy's, this is so cheeky. Okay, no. I thought she was going to do something else, but no. Sticking with the team, waiting to see if anybody sneaks up behind them. It's a good opener here for MIBR, but there's going to be a lot more follow-up required. Now we've got a few more bodies over towards this B site because weaponry is not at the position where they would like it to be. They've got scant utility left to hold on to this site. One smoke that they've now just used to refresh. Couple of flashes to hopefully slow things down and give them an angle, and AT to come through. Shot not connected. Younger will be the one to get the shot as the smoke re-blossoms, but Bruna follows it up with one of her own. But with that happening, they're starting to second guess a little bit. They've only got 3 players left alive, and they know if they make a misstep here, this round could slip away from them, so they slow it down. Now, a little bit more utility to come through. Danny with another, but Flystyle will eventually trade it out. Flystyle still being alive is a problem. Her bullets have magnetized to Goddess and Poppins for so many of these rounds, and it will happen again. But they cannot do any more. Danny, still alive at the end, will score that 5th round for MIBR.
Anxiety's calling. You lay in your bed, but it feels like you're falling. Do you recognize that feeling? The demons under your ceiling, when everything hurts and nothing is healing. Yeah, I don't even wanna be awake, cause every second that I live is like a wasting. Can you help me start a replace all the memories that stand in my way? You know what I really hate the most is that happens to me like a ghost. It's so far away. I only wanna be okay. Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me, why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. It's too late in the evening. I should probably get some sleep, but I just can't seem to set my mind at ease. I can find an escape. There are many doors I would take, but I can't make one of them become a way. So I'm drowning myself in the media, cause I don't wanna face what I'm fearing yet. I am scared of fighting this alone. I've tried to turn on the light, but my demons know how to hide. Lately there is just no end in sight. Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Lights out. I got a feeling, but I can't shout. I got reasons, but I'm all out. No rest for the weekend. Give me what I want. Never get alone. Never giving up. Give me what I want. Tomorrow we will rise.
The Killers, you have my attention. I think we both prefaced coming into this game that MIBR are probably going to take it. They're probably going to be the favorites. They're probably the victors. That's not the case of the half. 7-5. Probably should have been 8-4. The Killers now on their CT side off to a flying start. And Flystyle nails 2. On for
Oh my
more.
God.
On for a third. Give me a fourth. Goddess
Oh my
in her
God.
crosshairs. Flystyle stamps her mark on this second half.
Good Lord, she really did. I mean, look at that. She's so impressed with herself. And you know what? Well deserved. What a performance from Flystyle. I'll be honest, she, excuse the pun, definitely flew under my radar coming into this one, right? We were looking at people like Hera, like Bruna Killer, right? Even to an extent, I was looking at someone like Selex, who, you know, I've seen in quite a few of the previous seasons, and, you know, she's done relatively well. Flystyle was not on my radar at all. So really cool to see her coming alive in such a fantastic way here. So many multi-kills and so many of them, not just 2, but like 3 or 4, just consistently being such a huge linchpin. Another pistol round for the Killers under their belts. A bomb plant entirely denied for MIBR. Looking to get to 9. They might even hit double digits in the next 2.
I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. This is an extraordinarily exciting game that I was not expecting this. I thought this was going to be one-sided. But, shouldn't be a difficult round for MIBR as... Well, I think as for the Killers, shouldn't be anything promising for MIBR rather, as it's just 4 Glocks, it's a P250, and that's all she'll write. Oh, that... I don't know why Sammy's just mollowed herself. Doesn't matter? Okay, yeah. I don't know what was supposed to happen there, but Sammy's underarmed a mollow behind her.
That was clearly an oopsie.
Oops, no one saw.
Oopsie. We'll forgive that. You know, these things do happen. What I love about this is, I mean, obviously we all know that old expression, a rising tide raises all ships, and it really does feel like the tide in South America has been rising. And it's so cool to see the Killers, because they had like an okay run last season. It was pretty middling, but I think still a lot better than we might have expected. And then coming into this season already off to a really solid start against one of the teams that should arguably be, you know, top 2 in the region, arguably top 1. Okay, definitely top 2, arguably top 1. So it's a bit of a surprise that MIBR are kind of bottling it this badly, but you've got to give credit where it's due. The Killers had a very solid T side. They were dynamic. They had, you know, new ideas round after round. They were adapting to MIBR really well, to their positioning, to where they were moving, to their rotations on the map. Like, it was very responsive. So really cool to see that that trend has followed suit for now on this CT side. How much more can get done? Well, already we're down to a 3 versus 2 in favor of the Killers as mid just turns into a bit of a bloodbath. Now Selex has spotted out one to get that information across and make the right decision to back away. Unfortunately, she does get overrun even with Flystyle there. Can't get much more done, but Flystyle continues to be a thorn in their side. The MP9 farming up cash, and there it is. The dreaded double digits for the Killers.
Double digits in a round where it felt like MIBR just had nothing to play for. They don't get any banana control, and they don't even really contest it. They spam the smoke a little bit, so that allows for the 4th rotation, and that allows for Flystyle. I don't remember. I didn't catch who actually rotated, but it allowed for, say, a Flystyle to be there because she was the 4th line of defense, and the Killers, they just crunch middle, and MIBR, again, no bomb plant. Map 1 is not looking very good for MIBR right now, and they're not giving me any reasons to be hopeful for them. This would be a ridiculous upset very early on in the season. That's a big mid shot from Selex though, and we know what these Tech9s can do.
Oh, and there we go, already brought to a 3 versus 3 as the Tech9s overrun. Oh, never mind, 3 versus 2 as Sammys will get one more shot to connect. A bomb plant here would be great, and yes, they do manage to do that, but it doesn't look like there's going to be much more. Younger from range would have been nice, but no, that was to be expected. They do a little bit of damage, and they'll be somewhat happy with that. Bomb gets planted, so there's that little bit of extra cash, but I think that all in all, that round does go kind of how we expected it, not the same shenanigans that we saw in our first half.
It's definitely a step in the right direction when I look at this game. You know, MIBR actually getting to the bomb site. Maybe the acceleration is needed for these upcoming rounds, and the bomb down does mean that we get a substantial purchase while also having some money in our back pocket. This is a very important round. MIBR are staring down the barrel of losing map 1, losing Inferno. Ancient and Anubis is the next 2 maps, and it's 2 comfortable maps for them. Anubis they picked into in their previous best of 3, and Ancient they also won in that same best of 3. So comfortable maps for them, but they got to still get past Inferno. And Selex, this is bold, this is brazen.
Oh, the dry swing straight into Selex's AWP. And you had players in good position there looking for some sort of an opening, but unfortunately, that one swing with no re-swing to speak of means that Selex is one and backs away, slips into the night. What more can MIBR realistically hope to accomplish here? The Killers with this very aggressive hold into mid-brackets means that the moment someone peeks their head out, peeks a shoulder, peeks the barrel of a gun, they should get that information, should be able to play off of it. MIBR have slowed things down a little bit here, but now that HE, okay, not as chunky as I was expecting, but it will do a little bit of damage onto Gabby and should give a little bit of a Q over. Now, all shoulder spotted. They don't check that angle. They just run straight out and they get mowed straight down. However, there's a little bit of return fire. Younger and Goddess managing to keep this in a contestable situation. Bomb has made its way towards the site, but Bruna is ready and waiting. A half check that somehow Goddess manages to recover from. And Selex is now the last one left alive. This is a winnable round for MIBR, but they need to keep this clean. Goddess aiming down sights, waiting for someone to swing around the corner. The last player is the AWP, and it's Younger who will win that AWP battle. And finally, MIBR will get around in the second half.
Ooh, they don't look happy about it though. No expressions on Younger there. No elation after finally breaking through. But it's a big round, especially losing the early opening kill. And I'm actually surprised. I'm impressed yet surprised that round goes in favor of MIBR because they walk into the Lion's Den. They opened the can of worms. They didn't want to see what was on the other side. But they break through. And I think the Killers, their setup was so sound. The execution just wasn't quite there. And also the clear on Bruna. I don't know how Goddess got that kill. I felt like that was the perfect setup for the Killers, and the MIBR, they break through. It was a round that I don't know how replicable that round is, but it's a step in the right direction and a start they dearly needed.
And with so many of those rounds being kept so close, it means that now the Killers come into this round with an MP9 and a FAMAS to complement the 2 M4s and the AWP. So, not perfect. Losing this round could put them in some serious danger, but winning it would put them on the best possible position. So now all position known, and Selex is going to have to move back. And with that little bit of information given over, Killer's not taking the bait. They're still keeping a very strong presence over towards this B site, waiting for that pop through the smoke. And they're very limited on utility now. That is the last smoke that they have, with just the one Molotov to try to slow things down. Now that can be impactful, but just how much can it get done? It's going to go down and through the fire and the flames. Fly style not going to be able to replicate the same fantastic results she'd had in previous rounds. Instead, it's going to be MIBR taking full advantage of the lack of utility from the Killers. They overrun the site, plant the bomb, and the Killers are forced to save.
Taste your own medicine, hey? That's exactly what the Killers were doing to MIBR, and you know what? I actually love this round from the Killers, and this is exactly what I was asking for MIBR. It's the aggression from Sammy's in second mid. It's Selux getting complete control of middle to then allow for the rotation of Hera. So you have 3 players over towards that B bomb site ready for the hit. Yes, there's a big absence of utility, but I thought just the sheer numbers was going to be fine, but the Killers come away with no kills, and MIBR are hunting down for these exits.
Oof.
Ooh, does the AWP get saved? Yeah, so that's the big... Okay. Very expensive round then for MIBR, and the AWP gets retrieved, so it's actually not a successful pursuit. But regardless, it looks like it shall still be an eco round for the Killers, and MIBR, 2 rounds in a row, 2 good rounds, maybe not clean, but this is now them back into Inferno.
Gabby dying to the bomb was also a bit of a weird one when the entire team was busy hunting down other players towards the A site. To have someone close enough to the bomb to die to it in the dying moments of the round, a little bit weird. And as you said, that hunt maybe didn't go the way that they wanted. But I suppose at the end of the day, they took guns away and they can still reinvest, and they want to slow down the Killers' progress as much as possible. So perhaps it got them the results they wanted either way. We'll take a bit of a slower approach once again. MIBR at last starting to show signs of that team that we are so accustomed to. But this is a nice default from them. Just chill out in the early round. See if you can get some early info, maybe an early pick-off, and there it is, the first kill onto Selex, and they know that that's the AWPer, so they'll take her off the board entirely. And now, as those pistols start to get aggressive, it's just a spray down. It's a beautiful round for MIBR. Of course, an anti-eco, but an important one for them to maintain control of. If that had gone any other way, that could have been the end of the map.
It's a round that should be collecting and is collected. MIBR, they would need 8 in a row consecutively to finish it off in regulation. They found 3. They've done very well against the rifles so far, and even though the Killers have been proactive, MIBR have been playing very simple and breaking through these crossfires and setups, even though they may have a player disadvantage within some of those situations. So as we once again entered the fray, it's a 3-round gap, 5 to secure the win in regulation on your opponent's map pick, and 5 to really upset the Killers in this map. And I think if the Killers lose this, I feel like the rest of this series is going to be very downwards for them, because this was their opportunity and they can't let this go. That definitely wasn't on purpose from Bruna.
It's a one-way.
It's for the heavens, and this round's just going to fall apart because of it. That one smoke is going to be their downfall. Now that is very sad to see.
Oh, that's quite heartbreaking. That something so small could turn around entirely against you within moments. MIBR have have control of the site. The bomb is planted. They've still got a player out towards mid, just in case of any like crazy flanky shenanigans, but the killers make the right choice here. They realize they messed up. That smoke didn't connect. They've lost the player. There is no way that they are retaking this, even with those 3 smokes. It's not enough catalytic utility, and instead they're going to back away, hold on to their weapons. Hopefully MIBR don't hunt them down and steal those guns away again, because that could be absolutely devastating. But MIBR find a 9th, only 2 rounds away from evening up the scoreline, and this is suddenly looking a lot more hotly contested than what we saw in that first half.
Oh yeah, game is on. But the killers are doing really well at maintaining an economy.
I'll be real, I'm impressed to see teams saving.
Really? Wait, why?
It happens so often in the ESL Impact League where teams kind of tunnel vision a little bit and try to go for fights and retakes and whatever that they can't realistically win. So it's really cool to see that we have 2 teams with the presence of mind and the discipline to go, no, we're not going to push this. We're not going to be a little bit crazy. We're just going to back away and, you know, make the right call. Pretty good.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's something that Beto has actually spoken to me about previously of one of his critiques. And I think, yeah, you know what? Bang on. And it's something I see it a lot in the UK scene as well. Don't worry. I'm very... I've been there before. And MIBR... Yeah, there's a South African scene? Yeah, okay, but...
No.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Epic Land's a thing. VRS points. Yeah, that's our claim to fame now. We have something. For the killers, the constant saves, you know, it's classic Inferno, but the constant saves do mean that we have another purchase, but it's a very janky buy. 2 primary rifles, 2 FAMASs, and MP9. It's not the prettiest of purchases, and for MIBR, they're just slowing things down. This is what they do. They don't like to take banana straight away, and they'll go and see if they can contest after the first set of utility. Molo top, nade in the smoke. Not going to push through, interesting enough. A lot of utility exposed to not actually get much control, but regardless, as MIBR start to prowl in apartments, there's a flash on the floor. Someone can come back and pick that up. Might actually be quite important. Looks like MIBR will finally be taking banana, and the killers have gambled 4 players over towards A, and Gabby, a well-placed microphone right now, is hearing a lot of commotion over here. Oh, this is perfect.
Oh, no. Oh, the killers. They've made the wrong read. They're heading on over towards that B site to reinforce a ghost town. And now only 2 players left to reinforce this A site. Decent positioning. So they're at least in a good place to potentially get 2 on the entry. 2 or 3, maybe if they're really lucky. And that could make it recoverable. Oh, but MIBR have taken their time. That's given Select time to rotate in. The first shots to connect. Hera and Sammy's. What is happening? They gave way too much time for the rotation to come through, and they all just got absolutely slaughtered. I said 2 or 3. I didn't think it was going to be the entire team.
That round was perfect. That round was perfect. Gabby sits in boiler and goes, they've cleared brackets. Come over because they've rotated away. That's what's happened. There was 3 players on B, 2 on A. MIBR had the correct read, and they choose the long way round, and they don't cover all... There's just no flashes to get them from long to the bomb site. They get wrapped around. I'm actually confused why they don't just go up short. That seems like the simpler play. And now, the 11th hour is calling on Inferno. Poppins in a world of trouble over towards Banana. MIBR are actually fighting this time, and it's not going well. Bruna, mid-air, clips Poppins, and MIBR, 1 by 1, are falling.
3 versus 5 for MIBR here. A bomb is still towards the bottom of Banana. If Goddess dies there, that's the round. There's still the slightest sliver of a hope, so long as someone is still alive. But nope, never mind. Selex with a double there. Absolutely outrageous. Goddess still with control of the bomb, but her position is well known with that kill into mid. She's going to make her way over towards this B site, but of course, Sammy's has already rotated in. Goddess hears the steps, almost gets the shot, but unfortunately, Sammy's follows it up with a shot of her own. And the Killers, against the odds, against all expectation, they will walk away with their map victory.
Cool me dumbfounded. Way more substance about her. We didn't have the likes of maybe Poppins or Gabby or Danny, just really anyone actually step up in a seismic way. And now we go on to Anubis. Sure, this is the map pick of MIBR, and they have already played it this season against Mestas, but it was picked into them. Therefore, they started on the T side. And so now starting on the CT side, if the Killers are able to get a good start here, they could roll.
It's definitely an eventuality that MIBR don't want to allow to happen. Two players buying into the dualies. We've said this before, but, you know, two guns better than one. I do like that they aren't going for the aggressive A main hold. Instead, they've actually got a much stronger presence in towards mid. This could potentially set up for some good encirclement, or, you know, maybe they'll just back out and reinforce the site together. What was that, Younger? Run and gun straight to the dome. Okay, MIBR have awoken, not losing a single player in this pistol round, and that's what we were expecting to see.
I honestly thought the Killers might at least get some traction. I don't know, get to the bomb site maybe. Wow, like the utility was perfect. The camera smoke heaven, the Molo on broken wall, it should have blocked MIBR out on the rotations, but there was a really nice flashbang from Gabby that would have slowed them down. And then you know what? It was just bangers. There's nothing else really to say. They just hit bangers. And yeah, a nuke has been destructed on the A bomb site, and the Killers, not the flying start that maybe I was proposing.
Well, that's the first pistol that MIBR have managed to win here. Oh, Goddess taking a bit of a sneaky, cheeky push in through water. It looks like Younger will be there to back her up. She's still in a little bit more of an advanced position, potentially in some danger, but no. Gabby also in a really good spot. How did she get there? Totally unnoticed. Well, there you go. It's another round that just goes pretty handedly in favor of MIBR. They lose one player, but again, the Killers... So in the first round, they at least got to like the bottleneck choke to A main. This time around, they didn't even make it into the corridor to get to A. I mean, MIBR, it feels like they've got something to prove here.
Yeah, like in the end, it's an eco round. I do agree, though, a little bit more proactivity from MIBR. It's good to see them kind of taking the step up in this and taking the fight to the Killers, which is a necessity on the CT side. Anubis, you can't be left sitting stagnant. And for the Killers, now it's their time to shine. It's been a pretty bad start for them on the pistol eco. They haven't got anything going just yet. So this is their time to maybe try and conjure up some magic, as it's going to be a default with, I would assume, a lean over towards this A bomb site. But wow, what a nade from Younger. Launches it towards stairs, and I'm surprised there's still people there to receive it. But in the meantime, screw damage, Hera's got the opening kill in middle, and now it puts Younger and Gabby in this weird predicament.
Yeah, we've also got you know, the potential for a rotation that needs to happen. So unfortunately, Poppins has to move to the back of the B site to allow Danny to rotate over. That's going to thin out the numbers, but it is the right call as the push is coming in towards the A site. Bruno will crack it open with a first kill here. Now, Gabby, not really noticed until then. Good lord, how have you done that with an MP9? Beautiful 3K for her, and it does get followed up with another kill from Gabby as well. And what looked like it should have been a killer's round, they had that in the palm of their hands. One MP9 with a little bit of backup completely puts a stop to their attempt. The bomb is completely lost, and all Hera can hope for here is perhaps a little bit of damage. One elbow spotted from behind the pillar. She'll get one, but she does get traded out. And while a little bit expensive, MIBR will bank yet another round.
And what a performance from Gabby. Younger dies to set her up. They neglect the clearance after Younger falls here, thinking two players have already died from mid to A. And sure, a little bit of support from Danny, but that is all Gabby up close and personal. The snake in the grass bites hard. and MIBR a fantastic start, and specifically Gabby to put them in a much better setting than what they were on in Inferno.
Alright, back down onto the Tech 9s, and well, the Killers have done some pretty spicy things with Tech 9s in previous rounds. See if they can replicate that magic here. Oh, popping through the smoke, but it's Poppins who will put them in their graves. And that's probably all we're going to get to see out of this round. And honestly, for MIBR, this is the best possible CT side start I think they could have asked for. They could have very easily have kind of run out of their control, slipped through their hands in that third round when the Killers finally had guns in hand. But instead, they actually managed to play that very well, playing that slightly more passive game, even after losing an initial player, able to stabilize perfectly, and they've now climbed up to a 4th round. Things starting to look very scary for the Killers.
Yeah, I mean, it's also individuals stepping up. Like, sure, it's against Tech 9s, but the fact that Poppins is getting 4 kills, Gabby's getting a 4K, everyone's stepping up to the plate is already something that I was saying that has changed. I said in map 1, it felt like the individuals weren't there to play, but already for MIBR, here we are. Hello, Poppins says to the world. And the Killers, this is a difficult start for them, and I feel like they've awoken the beast. And that's the worst possible outcome currently in this series, is on their T side, they're yet to get the ball rolling. That first gun round, I liked the play. They had the opening kills. They were on the A-bomb site, but it was just that negligence that disposed of them. And speaking of proactivity, the other side of negligence, it's going to be Danny getting a little bit freaky over towards B main, trying to see if she can get an opening kill. No cigar for her, and there's actually a big issue right now with MIBR because Younger's just on a timing, spots Hera. That's really important because that's going to give the warning sign to Danny.
It looks like they are now very much aware of this flank that's coming in. In fact, they're so aware of it that they've pulled bodies off of the site. But this could lead for some dangerous play as the first kills come through, cracking in onto the site. Sammy's good for 3, in fact, maintaining control here. The last 2 MIBR players now have to move in. They're so far away from one another. Gabby opting to push in through the fire and the flames, but unfortunately, footsteps heard, caught out by Hera. And now Younger has to somehow clutch out this round. Not going to tip off the chicken. And instead of trying to push this, she's just going to back away.
I was going to say, she would be Arcadia player to watch for a reason, right? But no, unfortunately, doesn't go for it. And honestly, I think for the Killers, it's another good round. Like, that first gun round was good. And, oh, Chicken, get out of there. Get out of there, dude. The bomb's exploding. No.
Somebody cover the chicken. Cover the chicken. Why is there no one?
Why?
Bro.
No. Oh, Brandon is currently crying in his bed. And real ones know.
CS is a horror game.
Oh, that could make for a nice roast later. But it's another really good gun round for the Killers, and I think MIBR just didn't really know what to do when they saw those players cross mid. They'd lost track, and even though they did pull players off the bomb site, Poppins is still really aggressed, and MIBR just get pinched without doing anything, even though Gabby had full control of water, doesn't make a move off that, and I think a good round from the Killers to put themselves on the board now on the T side.
Perhaps a bit of...
there's typing in chat.
Oh, Poppins is disconnected. Thankfully, no damage done, so should be able to get that sorted. While we have a moment, just a quick update. I kind of forgot to update you guys a little bit earlier. We obviously have a community stream going, but I'll be honest, I don't think that stream's going to be live for much longer. Bounty Hunters took their first series at a dominant, 13-2. They've currently hit halftime. Bounty Hunters up 11-1 versus the Brave Bears. So if you wanted to catch the tail end of that, there should be a moment during this halftime where you might be able to catch that. But don't think it's going to last much longer. Bounty Hunters having a very good start to their season, it seems. For MIBR now, having let that one round slip away from them, they still have a lot to work with here. Obviously, most of those rounds were really clean. And I think it's just kind of plugging the holes that were starting to show themselves. And credit to the Killaz for spotting those kind of chinks in the armor and being able to exploit them. But it took them 4 rounds to finally get to that point. And now, you know, after that last round, MIBR are probably going to be like, hey guys, maybe we don't leave mid as such an easy target. So we might see some changes there, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, right? It's what you'd hope. And as we sit in a little tech pause, guys, don't panic. Guys, the chicken died, but the mainframe hasn't.
Don't panic, the chicken died.
No, hasn't. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We're gonna save the chicken.
I know it's created mass chaos across the world, but there are more chickens.
I feel like Poppins is definitely locked in. I saw that in the first few rounds, like just the look on her face.
It's not the normal Poppins, if that makes sense. Like, I'm used to hooping and hollering. I'm used to shouting. I haven't seen anything like that. Younger's been like locked in as well. It feels like for MIBR, you've got 100% a lot of pressure around this roster because it's theoretically the best players in Brazil. And you're joining MIBR, arguably the biggest organization in Brazil. I wouldn't know how to quantify who's the biggest and who's not, but you know, Fury, MIBR, the 2 biggest, I guess. So there's that. And it's supposed to be this super team, this FaZe Clan-esque juggernauts, throwback to 2017. But it's like losing a map in itself is almost inexcusable. And I think that's why they're so locked in and so maybe just like, okay, yeah, we can't, you know, we have to win this.
I will say, just back on the Poppins point, I was, you know what I think it is? So when we were streaming them last week, we saw her kind of kick off the stream singing and dancing and like having a good time. And I was actually talking to her about that. And that's kind of her ritual. But when we checked in with her today, she was having a snack. And, you know, maybe her mind wasn't where it needed to be. She wasn't having that party, getting that going. And already early on in this round, we've lost Goddess again. And bearing in mind in the last map, Goddess and Poppins were the linchpins for this team. They really were the rounds that they were winning, the rounds where they were succeeding. It very often came down to either Poppins, Goddess, or both of them. So Goddess off the board here. Gonna make things a little bit more stressful, but that's okay. Danny still alive, holding on to this mid position. You said they might isolate it as a weak point, but what have these swings been from the Killaz? The Ferrari peaks have been out of this world and they've worked out so well, but Gabby, beautiful. How does she find 2 there? Brings it to a 2 versus 2. Bomb is lost in camera.
Ooh.
How on earth do the Killaz recover this? They've smoked it off, so they should be able to pick it up, but the rotation from MIBR could be a bit of a misplay here. A side is free and clear, and if they have even the slightest inkling that MIBR have rotated off, they should be able to get a free plant.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one to identify for the Killaz, but they've been given an enormous amount of space, but planting out in the open, Selux needs to be careful. Poppins doesn't capitalize upon this and instead loses her head. Gabby, the original defender on A, is coming back from B. There is an AK and there is a Molotov that she can pick up, but chooses to do neither. Locked in, Selux down, revenge garnered, and on 7 HP goes back to collect the Molotov and is looking to maybe place that towards A main. A kit as well, a smoke picked up. She could plant this on the bomb and defuse, but Bruna just pushes ahead and Bruna saves the day.
I think that this is something that I'm really seeing from the Killaz that's been impressing me, but there is a lot of confidence. very often you'll see teams coming up against our juggernauts of a region and being too scared to swing, too scared to take position, too scared to take fights. But the killers ladies have no fear. They will run through fire and flames. They Ferrari swing in the wildest ways imaginable, and they're winning rounds off the back of some seriously ballsy plays. And I love it. I love seeing that because that's the kind of competition that our top teams really need to be getting. So for MIBR here, money, a little bit of an issue. They'll still be able to string something together into this round, but it's slowly, falling away from them. Meanwhile, the killers looking so good. Recovery has been fantastic. And yes, you can kind of wax lyrical about the T side, but I think that if the killers can hold on to this momentum, if they can get these next few rounds, if they can take this half, if they can get all the way up to 8, there's a very good possibility that we actually do see them take the second map in this series. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm starting to believe in the underdog story.
Yeah, there's a long way left to go, and I personally would be very excited for that prospect. A tactical pause for MIBR, I think a good time to take one. Unfortunately, they're not going to have a purchase in this round, so it will just be that eco, but the very early lead may be dwindling a little bit as the killers will look to even out the scoreline, but already in itself, 4 rounds on the CT side is kind of fine, and maybe if they're able just to claw at minimum 1 more, that's a good CT half on Anubis, but it's all about momentum. Are the killers able to just dominate? And if they are, then this could really turn the tides. There's a long way left to go, and the killers, they know they can do it. They've done it already on Inferno, and if they upset in a 2-0 manner as well, preposterous. That's one for the ages.
Oh, I'd be so ready for that. I'd be so ready for the banter as well.
It might be one of our first ever upsets in South America, because realistically, we don't get a lot.
We really don't, which is a bit sad, because upsets really do make things interesting. Speaking of interesting, this round just got a whole hell of a lot more interesting. 2 kills already. Poppins now on this A side, a little bit too eager. But 2 AKs have been recovered for MIBR. Now the question becomes, do you push this? Or do you try to hold on to the weaponry that you have? They've got a little bit of a way in here. They'll HE through the smoke, get their way in towards the site, smoke themselves to give a little bit more room to work with. They haven't pushed it. They've waited, they've poked, they've prodded, they haven't found anything, and finally the safe call will come through. I was here for the potential retake, but I think this is the right call. You've recovered some weapons, back away, and, hopefully do better in the next.
I think this is actually a pretty good outcome for MIBR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. This is nice. Ooh, Danny getting hunted? No. Yeah, this puts them in a good position. I'm pretty sure Young can get the AWP out. And yeah, I mean, sure, there definitely was a chance this round got dangerous, but especially with shots like that. But it was maintained really nicely. And yeah, here comes the AWP out for Younger. MIBR back on the full purchase with 2 AKs. They're back and they're ready to thrive. A deep stairs smoke. They have been prone to going for a nice little aggressive play on water, and that's not going to be the case in this round. So I'm assuming they're conditioning for the future potentially.
There's that AWP that you spoke of. Hopefully Younger can get some results with that. She's posted up over towards A, but there is a little bit of a buffer here in the form of Gabby that they could potentially play off of. Of course, the brunt of the killer's army is making its way over towards that B site instead. They've had some pretty good success here in previous rounds. We'll see if they can replicate that. Poppins, flash over the top, doesn't manage to connect onto anything. Oh, a little bit of teamwork there. Gets a little bit hairy for MIBR, but finally Poppins will get overrun And the bomb should get planted. Bit slow to get that rotation happening. And now it's an AWP and an M4 to try to mount this retake. It's all going to come down to Younger. Expecting a wide swing here. Holding a slightly wider angle. But no, it's just a little bit of jiggling. Gabby falls for the bait. Pushes through. Gets taken down. And Younger, nothing to be done here but to hold on to the AWP.
Scary. This is scary now. The Killers even it up 4-4. And as the clock ticks down, I think Younger should be fine. Even though, yeah, they do know she's in and around this area, but it should still be a fine save. Bruna's the only player in the vicinity that could be scary. Wait. Pause. Oh, okay. I was going to say, because Younger dying there actually has big ramifications, but it's just ultimately an ineffective B-hold. Poppins does really well to get to here, to be honest. She does actually fantastic, and it's just another situation where the B bomb site hasn't held, and then Gabby on the rotation has died as soon as she comes through the mouth of connector. The Killers, they're doing really well at just cracking open these bomb sites, and that's a scare for the future. That's not a good look for the future.
Yeah, I almost want to see perhaps a change up in who we have anchoring. Because if, oh my, okay, Younger, cheeky little push out there, getting a bit aggressive, takes out her counterpart in Selex. That's going to take that opposing AWP off the board and give them a nice little opener to potentially pivot off of. But mid, once again, is kind of free real estate for the Killers. Potential for a wraparound is a bit scary, and they have realized that. So Younger, ooh, I thought she was going to try and move in towards mid, but no, she's going to reinforce that A site. With the sound of those steps, Sammy's is going to take this space. There's no way, MIBR, that you are going to lose another round because you've left mid entirely uncontested. Sammy's now coming up behind Danny. She has no idea. The first kill to come through. No, Poppins can't trade. And it's a second kill for Sammy's. The B site is so free. The bomb's going to get planted. And MIBR... what are you doing?
What's going wrong? I'm getting flashbacks. It's Inferno all over again. It's just such a poor CT side. The idea is sound to pull Younger over, maybe reclaim some space, but they have no identification of anything that happens in middle. And the big crux of the matter is not the fact that Sammy's has the free real estate. It's the fact that she hears Younger actively rotating from B over towards CT, and that's the sound cues she needs to go off on, and MIBR are none the wiser. If I'm Poppins, if I'm Danny, sure, we've lost this bomb site previously and it's kind of maybe on us, but in this round and in 2 iterations now that the mid has been the issue, I am not a happy bunny. I'd be very, very, very upset. I'm sitting there. That's such a tilting round. And the fact that it's happened twice is even worse. And on top of that, there was an opening kill. Not gonna lie, Sammy's almost chokes this. I was scared. I was scared. Yeah. But if I'm the Killers, I'm so happy. I'm so excited with that.
Yeah, I must admit, Poppins not getting that trade is kind of wild.
She had a flash out. Like, it was a setup where the smoke for B main, she flashes. Like, she had to cock the gun, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah. Still, that's in the past now. The Killers have taken back the lead. I say taken the lead for the first time in this particular map. And looking to elevate that even further. Now, MIBR have still managed to eke out a bye here. Losing this round will put them back into a very tight spot. So they have to make this count. And winning this round, okay, Killers will still be able to get something together into the next, but you slowly start to build that momentum and kind of slow the potential for a snowball if you can keep this. If you can win this round, keep it expensive, you're in with a much stronger chance. Instead, they're throwing out quite a bit of early utility here. And to the Killers' credit, they're chilling. They're waiting for that util to come through now. Contacting their way up. The MP9 up close and personal. Gabby will get the first. Goddess to follow it up. She gets a second, but cannot retreat. However, they should have done enough. It's a difficult site to retake, and with bomb getting planted, it's going to have to be clinical. All they have to push back into the site is 2 HEs, and unfortunately, they will eat one from their counterparts. A lot of chip damage done here. The shot from Younger will connect, and suddenly this is a far more winnable situation. Selex flashed off of her angle, now mollied out. There's a little bit of a gap to work with here. She has swapped over onto the AK as the tap comes through. She gets the kill, swings out, but Younger is holding for it, and MIBR will finally, after a 5-round streak of losses, get themselves back into winning ways and even out the scoreline.
Much better round, and it's Goddess getting a massive double, and you can see the reason why she falls here is not because she gets instantly traded, but it's the fact that she was cautious of mid, and it does circle back to the problem of like mid just being completely left open constantly. But the killers, surprises no flashbang going into A main, an aggressive Molotov put down, 3 thrown. I feel like that should have been pretty like a warning sign that there was someone close A main. And then if you are going to contact in, the trade spacing has to be a whole lot better. That was the issue with the killers that round. Just poor trade spacings and poor flashbang usage. MIBR, they're right back into this. And no matter what happens, 5 rounds on the CT side is fine. But can they extend it?
Well, Danny cracks things open here, but unfortunately will take one to the dome. Flystyle continuing her reign of terror. Puts down Poppins. That's a free B site, a free plant. Now Goddess here on her own. She has been spotted out. She pushes this, but she'll still get that first kill. And that's massive. Could have been a huge misplay, but she makes it work. HE out onto Hera. Gonna do a ton of damage while her teammates are coming in. She does not check that close angle, but that's okay. Younger is there to keep the numbers contestable. She'll follow it up with yet another one. 2 kills for our Kadia MVP. Can she get anything more done? Now they have to hold on to this bomb. Select tries desperately to spray those shots through, but it will be MIBR with yet another one. They reclaim that lead. 6 rounds on the board, and suddenly things start to look hairy for the killers.
Yeah, it's scary, and it was a good execute, but it was the 4 versus 3 post plant where Goddess is able to get this one kill. That opens everything up, and Bruna, unfortunately, it feels like she could have done maybe more, or her teammate over at Pillar swings without any real, like, I think swings off the contact, and they both go falling. It's another clutch attempt that's gonna arrive for Selex, and MIBR currently in pole position to take the lead going onto their T side, which to me already spells disaster for the killers. It's been a really good T side. They've had too slow of a start and have dropped the ball here in the end, but middle, it's been pretty open. They've been able to take it quite a lot. This round is not gonna be the same.
God, it's already forced away. Oh, Younger, there we go. This is our Kadia player to watch. Beautiful first shot with the AWP. Follows it up with a shot to the dome with a pistol. Not making that third connect, but creates a bit of a distraction. Goddess losing that is a little bit egregious, but that's okay. Gabby's there to save the day. And with the final kill of the round, of the half, MIBR will go into the second at a 7-5 lead.
Still see things in my apartment. front of me. A museum of our lost time, where you had me on display, yeah. All the while, I wonder why never saw you in the daytime. You feel through glass, I almost tried. Now you keep me in your archives. 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 Tomorrow we will rise.
MIBR finally showing up to play. This is the version of MIBR that we anticipated today. 7 rounds on their CT side, on their map pick of Anubis. They are now surging to push us to map 3. And this pistol round could just be a nice helping hand to that point.
Ooh, alrighty. Kick that off with a nice little shot straight to
no.
dome. Follow it up with a second. Why the hell not? Can we make it a third? Yes, we can, but not a fourth. Finally, Poppins will put Sammy's down. Now, they do have control of the site, but how much more can they get done? Goddess waiting for that rotation to come through. Not expecting there to be another player. Selex will connect that shot perfectly. Poppins has put the bomb down, but she has to 1 versus 2, and unfortunately, she gets overrun. Yes, they do get that bomb planted, but the killers, with a beautiful start to that round, will also confirm the pistol.
Yeah, this is it was just a fantastic round from Sammy's. Realistically, if Sammy's hadn't got those inaugural 3 kills, then it probably wouldn't have unraveled the way it did for the killers. And this is actually now a very promising start. It's the definitely lesser favored side of Anubis, but if they're starting like this as they mean to go on, I'm definitely excited. It's good to see Poppins getting some kills though, because if I'm not mistaken, she was like 7-0, 9-2 and ended the first half on 9 kills. So definitely struggled over on that B-bomb site immensely. So her getting back in good form is exactly what I want to see. And she's got a Glock. She's bought and she's got a Glock. What? She's entering with a Glock. Okay.
Ooh, Hera. Shots not connecting. A little bit labored there.
What?
We'll see. Okay, Poppins somehow survives with 1 HP. That's good news because it means that they maintain the numbers advantage. This was being a really weird round brought to you by ESL Impact South America.
Okay,
yes, it is. I mean, come on, Freddy. It would have been fun, but let's be real.
Poppins entered with a Glock, didn't get a kill, but got 2 dinks on 2 different players. What? I'm actually so confused at what just happened, but I assume she dropped over her Galil to someone, and well, it worked out perfectly fine. MIBR, they lose the pistol, and a sharp rebuttal, a fast A execute, and it completely catches the killers off guard.
What a wild round. I love when things like that happen, and of course the economic reset that comes with it is not great for the killers. They still have a few deagles that they pull through here, so a little bit of firepower to potentially back them up. MIBR are going to be feeling good about how that ended up, even if it was a little bit weird and janky. Ultimately, they got the result that they wanted. Nice to see that the killers are taking mid a little bit more seriously than what we saw MIBR doing on their CT side. Who's standing on top of someone else? I'm missing. Oh, there we go. That's why it's a boost. Okay. I was trying to find Sammy's. I didn't realize that there was a little shenanigan happening there, but there you go. 3 players strong over towards B. And still no commitment just yet from MIBR. And this is what we saw in Inferno as well. So controlled, so patient. A little bit of util here and there. Poppins gets that first kill over onto A. A beautiful molly lineup into camera. Forces Bruna out of her position. Middle will be overrun despite the presence there. It was obviously an anti-eco. Not much more to be said and done in that round. Another one for MIBR.
And actually a very important round where losing the pistol could really be a negative start for them. And even though Sammy is hitting absolutely everything with the pistol so far, it's not going to be enough. So for MIBR, it's the rebuttal. It's Younger starting to smile a little bit. It's MIBR up against an eco, and now in good setting. There is the laughter and the grins that we have been waiting for. It's taken about an hour and a half, but we finally got to a position where people are smiling right now on MIBR, and that's a very dangerous sign for the Killers. They've not kept MIBR in that kind of quotation box, quote unquote box. MIBR have now broken 3, and everyone is firing on a pretty good level as well.
And Sammy's has definitely been a lot more noticeable on this map, which is not to say that she didn't perform on Inferno, but this was something that Brandon had said at the end of the last series, where there's a player who is like way up there with kills, but you look at it and go, when did that happen, right? It's that silent killer, so deadly, lurking in the shadows and doing so much work. And in that first map, that was definitely Sammy's, but in this map, she's become a lot more prominent. Come on. MP9 farm.
Sorry.
Love that.
Sorry.
Look at Goddess's money off of that, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were making a great point, but Goddess has just got $2,400 from that. Mouse one. Come on, ace. Yeah, buddy.
Is. Oh, not with the MP9. Goddess. That's fine.
Never reloaded. I love it.
Who needs it? But yeah, great to see Sammy's continuing to have a solid performance here. And yes, that round, bit of a farm round. But the Killers have far less of a mountain to climb than what MIBR did on Inferno. The problem is that this mountain takes place on the CT side of Anubis. And so far, yes, they won that pistol, but ever since then, it's really been the MIBR show.
And this could be just the beginning of the end for the Killers if this round goes in favor of MIBR. And it's a fast-paced play towards middle. Goddess, that MP9. Oh, it is so deadly, isn't it?
Oh, this is beautiful from Selex, but how do they let her get away from that? She just, or with that rather, just walks straight out of the smoke, gets 2. Okay, there was one that had util out, so very difficult to play off of that. How have you gone and got another one, Selex, right after throwing a Molotov as well? All right, that's a little bit egregious. MIBR, I was just singing your praises. Now Goddess, still with MP9 in hand, has to somehow salvage this round. We'll be able to collect the bomb, but will she be able to plant it? No, sorry, I was looking at the wrong side of the map. She recovers a gun, not a bomb, and still has a lot of work ahead of her if she wants to get that bomb back.
Trying the Selak special, walking through the smoke. And, ooh, the Killers are actually given some pretty good space. But as it fades, Goddess, ooh, that was her opportunity. Still takes it, gets dinked in the process. Revenge has been sought. Sammy's, she's on a burner so far on the CT side and is actually going to sit in that smoke that Goddess just put down. And as Goddess comes out the other side, Sammy's negates any possibility of heroics.
All right, we're starting to see the Killers coming back into their own a little bit here. Again, it was a really weird round, though. I think that we have to chalk quite a lot of that up to just very odd positioning. Selex being able to just push through that smoke and get 2, and then that third off the a little bit later on over top of that molly. A little bit odd. Little bit odd.
Ooh.
Do MIBR allow that to happen a second time?
Yeah, it's one of those big, really oversights where Salak should not have been allowed to do that, especially when Goddess did get the opening kill. But a lot of damage both ways, by the way, so far. A big nade towards stairs, a big nade towards connector, and on both sides of the equation, we've got players walking wounded immediately in round 18.
Another classic slow round from MIBR. I've noticed MIBR are not big fans of mid on the T side, the CT side.
They tried.
Yeah, to be fair, didn't really go in their favor. Oh, love this from Danny. She's gotten there totally unnoticed. Only good for one. It's a little unfortunate. Goddess wasn't in position to trade off of her. So, but MIBR on the T side, a trade usually favors the T's, and on a already T-favored map, they're going to be feeling fine with that one. Why have the killers rotated off?
It's a cheeky little gamble stack. It doesn't work, does it?
Oh, that's unfortunate. They only spot the one player. They think that it's likely to be a push towards A. They try to group up, and unfortunately, they've given the site over to MIBR completely for free. Selex, however, will be able to get a shot onto Goddess, as there is quite a big gap in that smoke. Can she follow it up? Younger knows where she is. Younger wins that duel. Hera there to try to follow it up, but the smoke allows Younger to slip away. Gabby now playing here from under, trying to connect these shots. Will pull these players away, pull them out into the open, and now Younger just has to connect one measly shot, and she will. Brings it up to 11. A little bit closer than maybe they would have liked, but ultimately, MIBR take it.
Yeah, there's a few things in that round to break down, and the first one is the lack of mid control, and that is the prognosis of Flystar rotating off, right? Because there's no control towards middle. You've got Selax, who's not able to fully take that control from Temple, and the killers are stuck in this weird state where they just have nothing. It's stagnation. So they make an aggressive move towards A. That's the wrong call. But then the retake looks like it's going to favor the killers, and the only reason it's won is because of Younger, not necessarily because of the clutch, but the aggressive, very, very brazen peek onto Selex that completely catches her off guard, and MIBR now within touching distance of claiming their map pick.
Not just their map pick, but also taking us to that third map, which we had a lot of question marks around whether or not we were actually going to get there. But they have managed to pull back into this. And it looks like we are going to get to see Ancient after all. And I was kind of mentioning this a little bit earlier on. I didn't get to go into too much detail because we had to like get the map going. I know people don't always love to hear the casters yap. Well, too bad. You're going to hear me yap now. There was a time, I believe it was season 5, where Ancient was the single most popular map in all of South America. So it was interesting to see that quite a few teams have started to move away from it a little bit. Maybe that's just with more teams getting comfortable with the map. You start to crack other maps because you want to have, you know, more aces up your sleeve, and slowly but surely that map becomes less of a comfort pick. But there is some comfort in it, in that both teams have allowed it to float through to that fifth map rather. So given the fact that we saw some real signs of life from the killers on Inferno, and even here on Anubis, it's not a blowout, that makes me think that should we get to map 3, and let's face it, we should, it could still be a very hotly contested map.
MIBR did look pretty good on it in their last outing. They picked into it as well, like in their last matchup, but this could be where we say goodbye to Anubis, and its aggressive play, the boost, actually pays dividends. Selex gets a lovely opening kill and is able to retreat with that. A missed lurk smoke, it appears, from the T side is aiding her retreat. Gabby, 21 kills on an absolute stormer currently, is going to add to that as Flystar walks into her crosshairs. And with only one defender on the B bomb site eviscerated, MIBR set sail for victory.
Certainly recoverable. We've seen the killers come back from a situation like this, but MIBR now cottoned on to the killers' ways, not looking to allow that to happen again. A little bit of molly damage done onto Bruna there. Chips that HP, makes it that little bit easier for those shots to connect meaningfully. Oh, they don't check, but it's not even the tucked-in player. Now Hera's the last one alive in a 1 versus 3. They knew where she was coming from, and Gabby will connect the final shot. The final shot in this half, the final shot in the first half. She has been demonic for this MIBR squad, and she will tip them over, let them take this second map, and confirm us we are going to Ancient. The ball on. But Freddy, I know that you think, you were saying MIBR have been looking pretty good on Ancient recently.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of an understatement, to be honest. They, in their opening debut, they absolutely decimated Mestas 13-2, and in their excursions into the CCT South America, sure they didn't win, but against some pretty high-level opponents, they ran them pretty close. The Killers, they also did win their debut on Ancient, but a little bit closer, 13-10 against Bounty Hunters. I feel like both teams are comfortable, but I would honestly put my money on MIBR right now, and this is actually a very good start, though, for the Killers.
Alright, Flystyle, listening to the footsteps, trying to get a little bit of a backstab, but a damage gets done. She will follow it up, gives the information over. Bruna chilling on the site, waiting for anyone to move in. With only 2 players left here. They can at least play off of one another. Oh, spotting out the first one. Goddess will be able to take down Sammy's, but there's still so much more to get done. Each one needs to get 2 more kills. Oh, you know, maybe Goddess can go ahead and get an ace. Well, now she'll have to, and unfortunately, she won't be allowed to. Selex will finish up that round with 2, and the Killers taking their 4th pistol of this series, because they did, in fact, lose the 2nd pistol on Anubis. So there you go.
Didn't they win it? They did, because it was their only round they won.
Yeah, MIBR won the 1st pistol. The Killers won the 2nd pistol. So that puts the Killers on 4th pistol. Sorry, did I say that wrong?
Yeah.
My bad.
It was fine, don't worry. But yeah, I mean, the issue with Killers, though, is they won that 2nd pistol round and then didn't convert the next round. So this is where I'm a little bit cautious, right? We've got the Aura Meisters on the server. And,
The Aura Meisters.
They're looking to farm some aura up with this low purchase victory.
For real.
These MP9s, you got to be careful. Danny baits in Goddess a little bit too hard. That's the issue. And even though it is a good trade, it's still a 4 versus 4 where MIBR would have loved to get the advantage.
This still isn't the worst situation for the Killers. I did like how that ends up, right? You send that one player on a bit of an exploratory mission. That was an important engagement, and Selex winning that means everything. So A site completely free and clear. Player advantage for the Killers here. As a flash comes through, Hera manages to dodge it. She will lose a teammate, but she's still ducking and diving on the site. Sammy's to follow it up with that last kill, and it's expensive, but it's yet another round.
That's the important part, especially as we're going up against the Pistols. The fact that they even win out the round is the far more important pressing matter. And I would like to highlight this duel right there, Selex and Gabby. The fact that Gabby loses that, or whoever wins it, I think that's the kill of the round. Whoever wins it, I think their team wins the round. Whoever loses it, however, I think the team kind of trails from that, and I don't think that was necessarily exactly the reason for MIBR losing the round, but it plays a very, very big part to it as the Killers go 2-0.
And of course, MIBR forcing up into that previous round means that now they're in a little bit of trouble. Back down onto the USPs. Okay, 1 kill. And that's it. Nice. 4K for Hera.
Clean.
Yeah, she just farms up in mid. Love that. Saw Goddess do something similar on Anubis with the MP9. This time around, it's Hera with the AK, also in mid. We're playing a new... It's CS Cluedo. Oh, man, I would love CS Cluedo. That would actually slap. So instead of the regular weapons, you have different types of guns, and you have areas of the maps instead of rooms. It would slap. And then, like, instead of, like, Mr. Plum and all of those clowns, you have, like, Zywoo and, like, Carrigan, right? Oh, it would be so sick. Somebody make that.
ESL,
Sorry, I digress.
ESL did have Monopoly, so this is even better. But now, first gun round, Younger does get the kill on the second time of asking, falls back for the second kill as well. Younger on a barn buster, but she needs to continue because she's lost her teammates, but instead, they're actually going to retreat. The Killers choose and elect not to fight the AWP.
Younger's just crazy with it. Ooh, Goddess almost caught sleeping at the wheel there. But she does manage to force Sammy's away. This is a tough position for the Killers to be in. They've taken a bit of mid control here, but unfortunately with Sammy's getting spotted out there, it means that she's got a little less room to work with. She's going to have to wait this out. Wait for the right opportunity. The problem is she could get like counter flanked on if she decides to push into the CT spawn. Oh, Bruna, bro, they keep doing this. The killers have been so cheeky with these wide swings. Yet another kill to come through, bomb to get planted, and now Goddess trying to take matters into her own hands, up close and personal in the smoke. But no one's pushing into her. So unfortunately, she won't be able to capitalize off of that. Low HP here on a couple of the Killers players, so there's definitely a chance. And here's that moment Sammy's was waiting for, and she will connect onto Youngher. She was left by the wayside. And now our last two MIBR players caught between a rock and a hard place. They've recovered the AWP. Sammy's to back away here. She doesn't want to get caught out unnecessarily. And with two MIBR players charging towards her, better to not take that fight. MIBR make the right call. They pick up the AWP, opt to try and go for the save, but Sammy's not going to allow it to happen. They will keep the AWP, but taken away yet another rifle. The Killers give no quarter.
And you can see Sammy's as well in the microphone there getting very, very energetic. And this is a great start. Younger gets 2 opening kills. Gabby does fall, but it feels like it's still fine. And the big difference maker of this round comes from when Younger actively makes noise running away from Red Room, thinks that no one is going to be lurking that late, and Sammy's has the perfect opening, the perfect timing to come and backstab. Not only wins the round, but takes a weapon away from Poppin's hand. MIBR now in a position where they are on the back foot, but it shall be another crucial opening kill for Younger. This time, can they convert?
That's actually a crazy thought, saying this time can they convert, given how well that last round started. Outrageous. Statistically, getting the opening kill means that you should win the round, but, you know, sometimes the stats lie. Okay, a little bit close for comfort there, but Killers still in control here. The AWP is still in play, which makes it do... Wait, they lost the bomb. Oh my god, they lost control of the bomb. They've managed to reclaim it, however, so they will get to plant. But how is Goddess just running amok on site? Okay, she doesn't manage to get any kills, and there's a follow-up onto Gabby as well, but Younger is still here. Gets the first, gets the second, pulls out the pistol.
Oh my god.
But can't get the final shot. What on earth? The Killers, that was way too close, way too messy.
They made that game, they made that round so unnecessarily scary, because even though it was like an opening kill for Younger, realistically, the rest are just on pistols. And the Killers, they act accordingly. They go up on the B bomb site, they lose one player, but it's fine. They trade their way in, and the bomb just never gets planted. We were saying, like, the bomb's down in the open, it's very difficult, it's very awkward, and that's exactly going to be the case. Younger almost rises into glory, but unfortunately cut off just as she hits that peak, and the Killers 5-0. It's a fantastic start for them, but MIBR, a very crucial tactical pause now being called.
I'm still recovering, man. The fact that Younger very nearly clutches that round as well is just insane. And it's one of those instances of, like, how much more can she do? The round before, she kicks off with 2 kills. That round, she almost clutches it out, and she has to go absolutely nuclear, and she just kind of can't. Now Poppin's going for this aggressive push. Holy! Gets the first, the next 2 through the smoke. Younger to follow it up with her 4th. And the Killers have just completely fallen apart. This is that mid-aggression that you want to see on Ancient. You have to take that control. And finally, what was looking like a bit of a runaway train for the Killers, MIBR will put those barricades down, stop that train in its tracks. But I feel like it needs to be pointed out, Danny and Gabby, who have had outstanding performances on the last 2 maps, struggling a bit here to get on the board.
As this final kill should be coming in. Ooh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. No uh-ohs. It's just delaying the inevitable. And Yeah, I agree with you actually. That's something I didn't quite notice. Gabby gets on the board. She heard
There
you
you go.
and she reciprocates. But that's a fantastic round from Poppins. And the Killers, they try change up the pace, they try change up what they're doing, and they walk to their demise. That is a massive round for MIBR to get on the board. After a pretty slow start, they get on the rifles, and straight after tactical pause, it completely goes in their favor. And that round is all utterly Poppins.
It's good to see Poppins kind of feeling herself a little bit more here. I really do think that like positioning was a bit of an error for Anubis, and maybe they'll look into that for future games. Now Poppins has had a lot more opportunity to do some crazy things. They're kind of expecting that mid aggression again. You can see they're holding a little bit further back, but Selax being somewhat co-tip of the spear, trying to get those shots in onto Danny. Some great flashes have come out here. Finally, the double swing will put Danny in the grave, and that opens up this B site. MIBR maybe playing a little bit too safe into this one. They've allowed that bomb to get planted relatively uncontested. And this retake is going to have to be magical. And bearing in mind, there's still a player in mid for a potential flank, but Younger is still alive. And she's been the perpetual thorn in the side so far. Gabby gets her second, and she will start to climb up. But shots have been spotted here. Goddess, unfortunately, caught out. The orb of Selex will continue to rain down fire. But unfortunately, the duo of Poppins and Gabby is just too strong. And they will recover and net themselves a second round.
Honestly, what an impressive retake, right? I thought that was round over. I thought the Killers were going to go to a sixth, and I was looking at this and I was like, 6-1 the Killers? What's going on right now? How is this going so well for them? But instead, it's our Kadia player to watch to get a very crucial opening kill, and the rest to fall in place. A massive retake at a very pivotal point of the map where it's like, are the Killers going to get all this early success? Are they going to run away with a map that no one anticipated them to do so? No. MIBR hold them in their place and set the theme of, we're not going to let you just take bomb sites, we're going to fight for it.
Poppins not going in too aggressive this time around. I think that's the right call, given the buy that's come out from the Killers here. Instead, she's going to play a little bit more defensively, try and lure these players out into the open. Younger with some uncharacteristic missed shots, which does end up in her life becoming forfeit. And this has made things a little bit more doable for the Killers. They've recovered one of those rifles. So Hera's got a bit of firepower in hand. Somehow Flystyle wins that duel. Danny not having a good inning so far here on Ancient. Continuing to be a little bit of an issue. Now Gabby, with the world on her shoulders, can only get one. And Poppins already been good for two. It's going to have to be two more to try to win out this round. Does have a kit, so a little bit of time to play with, but not terribly much. She's threaded the needle here and has managed to make her way back towards the site. But Flystyle is tucked in and unnoticed, but finally Flystyle will turn the corner. Poppins caught in the back, and the Killers regain control.
That is a upsetting round to watch, and you've hit the nail on the head with Danny. 0-7. Going absolutely absent on Ancient, and has been the big area of critique that Killers have been opening up. MIBR, they're falling apart. They've just lost to Tech 9s. Like, this is... What's going on? This is supposed to be a good map for them. A map they picked last time on their debut. And right now, the Killers, they are putting on a show. I'm listening. They've got all of our attention right now. They've got this lead. Are they able to convert?
Gotta start to wonder if the pressure, their own pressure, starts to kind of become an issue. Knowing
Goes both
that
ways, that pressure.
For sure, but I think for the Killers, you know, they start to feel that little bit more confident now. They come into this as the underdogs, a little bit less to lose, I suppose. Maybe a bit more to prove, but less to lose. For MIBR, they lost that first map. The second map was closer than they would have liked. They know that they're not playing at their top form, and all of those little things start to compound on themselves. And even there, Poppins, while she's good for one, unfortunately does get traded out. The A site is completely open. MIBR so far away. Again, they've given over mid. They don't like holding on to mid, and that is a huge mistake because Sammys will take that space, take down Gabby, and the last 3 players here for MIBR. Surely this is just a save call.
Yeah. The save is not the worst thing in the world right now, especially when you're saving the AWP and the A1S, but you're consoling yourself with consolations because you're down 2-7, so the save is really good on one hand. Then the issue is you got to start getting rounds on the board, simply put. And the killers, they're edging their way forward. They're getting tantalizingly close to a really dominant first half, and these rounds are very simple. And mid, as you mentioned, I'm getting flashbacks to Anubis right now, because it feels like we're in the exact same predicament where mid is just this crux for MIBR. So a tactical pause, I wouldn't hate it, because last time they called a tactical pause, they got their act together. They fought towards middle, they weren't complacent, and they were successful. There you go, the tactical pause comes in, get Darkside on the mic, get everyone to calm down, because things are spiraling out of control. And as the favorites, you can seriously get in your head about being like, well, we can't be losing, we're the favorites.
And that certainly does become a massive pressure point. We'll see how much of an issue that does become. I'd be curious if they do manage to win this out, kind of pick their brains a little bit, find out what they thought kind of went wrong in some of these rounds. But a winner interview with the Killers after coming up against the Titans of MIBR would be pretty fire.
I think we might be too late on schedule, unfortunately.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so excited to like talk to them and get their insights. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Time of the essence today. Perhaps we'll catch up with them another time, or perhaps Brandon will put out another fantastic ESL Impact video where he gets some insights from some of our lovely ladies. Go check out that content. That is very fast, and the deaths are just as quick, even in light of a flash that comes through. Gabby with the MP9 will mow down 2 Younger to follow it up. The bomb has been lost and then recovered, but the MP9 continues to be a problem. Gabby, who we had called out for not quite performing, has redeemed herself somewhat. Younger, our Kadir player to watch, continues her reign of terror. 10-7 now, catching up to Poppins. But is it going to be enough? 2 rounds left in this half. For MIBR, it's becoming somewhat urgent, somewhat needed that they somehow get those rounds.
It's this whole thing with Gabby on an MP9 and anchoring down and getting 3 kills when it all looks bad. The exact same thing happened on Anubis. It was a big swing round, so I wonder how the momentum gets changed now. Younger on fire is a great sign. If that continues for the rest of the half, 5 should be a given. But nothing's a given when you're playing as a Killers, because they've got a cutthroat mentality, fast-paced play down ramp, and Hera disintegrates the first. Trade, not there. Danny picks up her first 2 kills of the game, but Selex puts her in the ground.
Oof, that was a kind of a cheeky little spray that went on there. It's a nasty kerfuffle. MIBR now trying to mount this retake, but so paranoid. They know that Sammys has liked to play this really cheeky lurking position. Know that she's not up mid. They're trying to keep their eyes trained on their backsides to make sure that she's not coming up there. But unfortunately, 2 players waiting here with a potential high-low in position, firing into the smoke, not quite connecting meaningfully. The HE comes through, doesn't clear the smoke. Poppin's good for the first, but the spray through the smoke will deny the defuse from coming through. The Killers currently at 8-3, definitely winning out the half, on the right track to win out the map and potentially the hold-on series.
What's going on? Like, what's happening? Is this a dream? MIBR, this is supposed to be the super team of Brazil, and they're being disintegrated. Even if Danny gets her first 2 kills of the game in a very important manner, it still all falls apart. And the Killers, they're running a field day right now. No elbow smoke. I assume that's to bait in Younger. Unfortunately, doesn't provide any positivity for MIBR, but there's a lot of players here, and it looks like finally it's going well.
And it's that mid-fight. I mean, they've been so many rounds where MIBR just ignore mid entirely. They almost always lose those rounds. When we finally see them fight back in mid, invariably, they manage to maintain that control. Bomb has been lost. Flystyle will get one, but she will get shot in the back by Danny, who has finally started to show up. But with only 4 rounds in the first half, can they turn it around in the second?
2 a.m. in the morning, and your anxiety's calling. You lay in your bed, but it feels like you're falling. Do you recognize that feeling? The demons under your ceiling, when everything hurts and nothing is healing. Yeah, I don't even wanna be awake, cause every second that I live is like a wasted. Can you help me start a replace all the memories that stand in my ways? You know what I really hate the most is that happens to me is like a ghost. It's so far away. I only wanna be okay. Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me, why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. It's too late in the evening. I should probably get some more sleep, but I just can't seem to set my mind at ease. I can find an escape. There are many doors I would take, but I can't make one of them become a way. So I'm drowning myself in the media, cause I don't wanna face what I'm fearing, yeah. I am scared of fighting this alone. I've tried to turn on the light, but my demons know how to hide. Lately there is just no end in sight. Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me, why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for some better days.
Still see your things in my apartment, or in me the places where your heart went. Traces of your life got me thinking maybe you love me, but that's just how it started. More things and problems that I don't need. Your toothpaste, your cigarettes, and heartbeat. Taught me to whisper when I'm sleeping, saying you love me, but that was just a daydream.
A rough half from MIBR, but they do at least claim the final round in the first half. Will that be enough to draw them back into this matchup and avoid upset, avoid defeat, as the Killers so close to victory? They can feel it, but can they claim it?
And for MIBR, on the other hand, as it slips away from them, a potential dynasty that they were trying to build, possibly falling apart at the seams.
Oh, that's a good start.
But they will, yeah, they'll crack their way in onto the side. Poppins will get the first onto Bruno. They've got some decent control here. Nice kill from Danny. Waking up a little bit more here on the T side. We saw her start to come to life in the last couple of rounds on CT. Maybe it just took her a while to find her footing. As now the Killers will attempt this retake, but as time starts to tick away, the shots will connect, but it's going to take a little bit more than that because obviously they don't have a kit here, so they have to be quick with this nice fancy footwork from Danny, and now there is absolutely no chance. Danny continues to get those kills, and finally Younger will clean it up onto Flystyle, and MIBR take the pistol round.
I'm not completely convinced what, but I'm pretty sure the kit was down in front of Danny. I think the first player she killed had the kit, but regardless, that's a really good sign for MIBR. Not only the pistol round win, but also Danny coming alive because, as we know, she was 0-7. Wasn't having the best of times. Gets 5 kills in the final 2 rounds of the first half, a 3k there, boom. Everyone is firing on full cylinders now for MIBR.
It's good work. But it's just the first step. Need a lot more to happen here. Nice smoke. You and your tower will tell you exactly what you can do with those. Poppins now doing a pretty solid Sammy's impression, taking that mid space. Realizing there's not terribly much happening here. She's that tip of the spear with the MAC-10. Looking to see if she can find any info, find any opener. Her back's constantly turned. They have no idea. I mean, they probably have an inkling. And there you go. She'll spot out the first. Struggling to win out this engagement. Calls for a little bit of backup there. Somehow, Gabby taken out in mid. She was that lurk player. And that's going to be a free gun given over. But with 2 players already lost, that should be all she wrote.
MIBR stepping back into this game. This was the round that it shouldn't be dangerous, and it wasn't. So they're clawing their way back in. This first gun round is a very important one. I like to put it into perspectives of, do MIBR have a chance to come back, or are the Killers going to secure their dominance? That's how I see early gun rounds like this after an 8-4 half and the team on the lower end winning the pistol round. Where do we take this? Is it going to be an upward trajectory? Or is the Killers stagnating?
Well, so I'm glad that the Killers didn't opt for the force that we know that MIBR like to do. And the first time around, it worked out. They were able to reset the economy. Happy days. The second time around, doesn't quite go as they would have wanted. So now for the Killers, instead of going for that force in the second round, save up that cash, wait for the third, and now they've actually got something a bit more robust to play with. They're not forced back down onto pistols or a janky buy.
My God.
And Bruna puts it to brilliant use. The first 2 kills come through. Danny will finally get one of her own onto Sammy's, but player advantage firmly for the Killers here. Really solid map control as well. Decent extremity info, if not full on control. But now MIBR... Okay, they were kind of angling over towards A, but it looks like Bomb is going to make its way over towards B instead. We'll see if they can draw out these rotations. This is a really good position for Poppins to be in, potentially. However, I thought she'd come back in towards mid and try to catch that rotation. Instead, she's just kind of chilling, kind of hanging out. Going to leave it up to Danny, and Danny does not manage to hit those shots. And this looks like it's a save. That's rough for MIBR.
A very long 40 seconds if that's the case. I'm pretty sure Danny was looking at the mini-map, so that's when she got peaked, she wasn't ready to react efficiently. Poppins could pave the way for Goddess. And if Poppins gets a kill and holds them here, Goddess, Sam, she's got an open bomb site. Poppins falls, but the bomb site is still open. Goddess has got 3 kills so far. She would over double her kill count right here and give MIBR salvation in this first gun round.
A miracle would be a bit of an understatement. Start making their way in through Jaguar. 2 players strong. Goddess, you have to hit those shots. Nope. The wide swings.
Would have been cool.
It would have been cool, but the Killers have been so nasty with these wide swings. They continue that trend, and they will wrestle back control.
That's a really really solid round where they come in with FAMASes, MP9, and they exit with 3 AKs, and Bruna, I don't even know if that was a spam, if there was a nade in the smoke, but regardless, it's 2 opening kills, and it gets a bit scary when Sammy's dies. Yeah, it's a nade. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, it's so perfect from Bruna. And sure, that's a really nice trade from Danny, and Sammy's, it's a very unfortunate position to be put in when she tries to go and like cement the round, but regardless, it's MIBR, a bomb down, really big for the economy, but the Killers, they want this victory.
What a victory it would be.
This is a change of play.
I like this from Sammy's. Oh, this is so cheeky. She's been a very cheeky player on this map so far. She's trying to time this just right. Gabby was watching for it, so backing away before the smoke can clear is the right call. She is still in a very good position to flank this. Opt not to, as trades come in towards the site. Bomb has made its way in. Hera alone on an island. Flystyle still alive, but only good for the first. The transfer not happening, and now it's all down to Bruna. Sammy's perhaps a little bit too disciplined on the trigger there. Not going to be able to make anything happen in mid. And MIBR, despite what was a very, what's the word?
Wonky?
Different, inventive, wonky. I was going for something a little bit more positive, but yes, new and out of the box round from the Killers. I suppose sometimes the tried and tested
that round was
works
nice.
better.
Sorry, I thought we were on the same wavelength. Not quite. I thought you were talking about the first gun round, and I was like, oh yeah, not a great gun round. Whereas MIBR then come into this round with a completely...
Oh yeah, no, I meant this one.
Yeah, this round is really nice, and I think the Killers play it perfectly. They don't put anyone A, they have 3 players towards B, they have Sammy's, who I thought was going to scale into cave, but instead stands and then loses the duel, and that's the big difference maker. MIBR, it's a call from spawn. It's a very stressful game for them. You can see Younger is, she's losing years right now playing this game. This is taking everything out of MIBR, and the Killers, they take a pretty big tactical pause actually, because yeah, like this round, everything was perfect, and look at how they play together, and that's maybe the big issue, not Sammy's not pushing cave. It's the fact that those players on the B bomb site are in a great position, but don't actually take those duels together, and it allows MIBR with their utility to separate them and succeed. So as we continue in this game, neck and neck, neither side wanting to give up.
The Killers taking a timeout here is a little scary for me for MIBR, because I feel like they haven't taken many. It's generally been kind of MIBR that are constantly on the back foot, and so for them to have not taken this timeout, yes, it shows that MIBR are stepping up and the Killers are feeling the pressure, but also to have that little bit of an injection, that little bit of time to think things over a little bit more. Selex, how the hell have you gone and done that? Flystyle to follow it up, and somehow MIBR are 2 down in a round where they had a clear advantage. Sammy's picks up a free gun for herself. That's outrageous. MIBR completely caught off guard by the crazy sneaky plays. Okay, Poppins finds herself in a good position. Will take down Sammy's. Now she is known, but that will open up a lot of space here for the rest of her team. She'll head back on towards the site to make sure that nobody comes to contest this. And just as well, because Selex is here, ready and waiting. However, reinforcements for MIBR have arrived. The moment Selex turns around the corner, doesn't connect the shots. Poppins knows where she is, sprays through, gets the connect, and will follow it up with yet another one. And a round that looked like it was going to be easily in favor of the Killers. Poppins takes ridiculous space, a 4K on for the ace. Go on, Poppins, one more kill, and show us that you're still just as lit up as you have been. Nope, Gabby steals it away, but still a really solid round for Poppins.
A solid round. That is the round that saves the whole game for MIBR. It was a 3 versus 5. Everything looked doomed. It was gloom, and Poppins rises above the rest to take this game into her own hands. And it's the second kill onto Selex that is the biggie, because Selex had the game. She had the round in the palm of her hands, but instead She shoots too early, and Poppins negates her. 20 kills. She is popping off right now. We know she can do it, and she's finally stepping up to the plate.
Suddenly, we're only at a 1-round deficit. I mean, this could not be any closer. And it's the HE kill that takes out Bruna. Oh, you hate to see it. Danny, up close and personal, spots out another one. Brother,
It's all
Danny, how have you done this? How have you gotten 3 kills? The first, I don't even know if she even saw that player. It was probably just a really solid lineup. The next, she gets collapsed in on and simply wins those individual 1v1s. And for the killers, how do you respond? Selax will finally take down Danny, finally take out that raid boss. I think Danny maybe heard me, maybe in the break. She was like, hang on a second. What were you saying about me? Yeah, what? I'll show you. Poppins shows Selax. And Hera, realistically, not even the one.
Danny stepping up. I said after the pistol round. Remember when I was like, hey, look, it's pretty good that people are stepping up now. Everyone's firing on full cylinders. Danny, where was this in the first half? 3 kills. These 2 kills there are salacious. And the mid utility is so perfect. Not only is it a really well-placed nade from from Danny to get the final kill, but it's Poppins throwing the nade off the wall, the mollo in front, and puts Bruna down to like 30 HP to begin with. The killers, I think they've let the ball slip. They've had their opportunity. It was the 5 versus 3 in round 17. They've lost it now. And they're all falling apart. MIBR, they are ignited with passion. They do not want this to be the game that they lose early on in the season and potentially silence their chances of making it through to ESL Impact finals. They are ready and they are stoked. Killers, they've stoked the fire and they've awoken the beast. Tied game as the killers go down to pistols.
This feels like a redemption run for MIBR. Clawing their way back into this series, showing once again why they have historically been such favorites. Just such strong players. Reminder that the core of this roster was the core of the Fluxo roster that competed in the last few lands, that have always been one of the names at the tip of your tongue when you think about South American ESL Impact. And they're looking to make sure that that doesn't change. Well, maybe not the Fluxo part, but certainly Poppins, Goddess, and Younger now with their new organization of MIBR.
Oh, no.
That could have gone worse.
There are 2 players on A. Maybe Sammy's goes unlooked. Oh, that's a big first shot. That's a big second. This is all falling apart. Goddess doesn't get away. Oh no, it's all falling apart, Sam. The pistols have just found 3 kills and it's a 2 versus 2.
This is what I was saying about Sammy. She doesn't always show up, but she's the silent killer. She now has control of the bomb, the Molotov to come down to block off any sort of ingress, but Younger is still there with the AWP. Sammy's gets the first, but can't follow it up. Younger, somehow, we've seen her in a position like that before, and she wasn't able to bring it home. But this time, she stops Sammy's in her tracks, denies the ace, and allows MIBR to hit double digits. A little too close for comfort.
Oh my god.
That last one kills me, man.
And it's a technical pause. I think someone's pulled out they kicked their PC over after that from MIBR. That is a ridiculous performance from Sammy's, and unfortunately it's all lost in the annals of times as Younger wins out that 1 versus 1. But I was preparing to be like, oh yeah, that was a really clean round from MIBR, and it's really good to see them on the anti-pistol rounds to be really successful, and it was. Until Sammy's entered into the conversation, and that would have been a deal breaker. That could have been the difference maker of this series, but unfortunately, MIBR, they still maintain a lead.
Outrageous. Outrageous. I feel like this technical pause comes at a good time for both teams because, okay, so granted, you can't talk during a tech pause, but you can breathe, can like have a drink of water, preferably. Take a moment to just kind of recenter yourself and refocus in because this has gotten so hotly contested. We talk about the pressure. This has turned into a veritable pressure cooker. The first couple of maps were fairly close. This has overtime potential.
So back and back. It feels like each round is a new victor, and this is a change of pace from MIBR. They're going straight towards this A-bomb site. They almost lost the round here last round, but instead, there's no one to greet them, Sam. There's no one here. MIBR have a free bomb site, and everyone is on the quick rotation from the killers, and ooh, Molotovs are missing in Donut, which does maybe make the bomb being planted a little bit difficult. No, but this 5 versus 5 retake is for all the marbles.
Nice little bit of added utility on top after that Molly doesn't quite connect, just to make sure that they can maintain that control and allow that bomb to get planted. A 5v5 retake is a bit of an awkward situation, but that's okay. Poppins gets that first, gets traded out, and MIBR fully in control of the site here will press that advantage as far as they can. Bruno now is the last one alive, has to 1v3. Losing this round would be devastating. Gets 2, but Gabby through the smoke will end that round, end their hopes and dreams of hitting that double digits, take MIBR up to 11, and put the killers in a very tight economic position.
This is a very, very tough pill to swallow if you're the killers. And as they are buying back into this round, oh, it's such a weird janky purchase, 3 for masses. MIBR, utility is going a bit awry. I think you can see the nerves are kind of coming across on everybody right now, but they're the ones on 11. It was a perfect call from Goddess. We're going to need a few more of those if she wants to close out this map because they found the vacant A bomb site. And this time, it's a vacant middle.
It's always a vacant mid. Mid, I don't know, there's an allergy to mid here. I like this. Nice little contact play there. Selex will get the first. I'm not sure that the other two were even noticed, but a good early kill allows them to pull back, reposition. MIBR now. And I love the fact that it's a read into MIBR because MIBR like to play more defaulty. They like to play a little bit slower. So the killers know if they can contact up a little bit, play a little bit silently, not get caught, they can maybe catch MIBR off guard. And an opener there could flip everything on its head. But despite that, MIBR still seeming to be angling for this B site. Poppin's in a very good position here, but if she gets caught out, she could be in some serious trouble. And take a look at mid now, as we've got players moving out, taking that map control, encircling. Sammy's could be the end to Poppins here, and that could stop MIBR in their tracks. A few shots to come through from Poppins. Timing not quite in position for the flank, but that's okay. Hera will activate. 2 kills for her. Fly style to finish it off. And finally, we do see the killers hit that double digit.
It's a good round from MIBR. Like, even though they lose the opening kill, the whole round was orchestrated well. They were holding for the aggression, they were holding for Selex to peek down, and even though Younger misses the shot, the idea to re-exec onto that B bomb site was sound. The issue is they take far too long. They allow for the CT side to mobilize, they allow for the CT side to clear out middle, instigate lurks, and also put a third person on that B bomb site that wasn't previously there. This is the saving grace from killers. The reinvestment pays dividends, and MIBR, this game is not done and dusted just yet, especially with Poppins missing the opening kill in middle. Trades are good, but do they clear Sammy's? Yes, opening an advantage for MIBR.
Still anyone's game. The problem is now for the killers, with only 3 players left, they have to spread themselves so thin. Goddess, what a shot. Peeks up instantly, shot to the dome on Fly Style. Now her position is at least known, but let's face it, with only 2 players left, there isn't too much for the Killers to do here, and the devastation comes into the fact that it's off the back of having just won a round. So the loss streak bonus is reset, which means that money into the next round is going to be less than ideal. A kill onto Goddess, a little bit of extra money. They'll be happy with that. Can they make this that little bit more competitive? Yes, Selax, a great angle from her. Manages to duck away from the incoming fire. Brought it to a 2 versus 2. Rifles versus AWPs. And who will come out on top? Bomb yet to get planted. Now it will finally happen. Selax, you spotted the elbow. Doesn't go for the shot. Instead, has to kind of play the angles here. Waiting for someone to peek out. Time slowly starting to tick away here. Both players do have a kit on board. So they've got a little bit of wiggle room. Opting to team up to try to make this a more tradable affair. Younger not scoped in, so if she does scope into that, it could put her in danger. Misses the nose or the quick scope. And now being pushed in on is Danny, and somehow will connect the shot on to Selax. What an outrageous way for her to win that round and take MIBR to map and series point.
Oh, that was a 4 versus 2, Sam.
Oh.
That did get so close, unnecessarily close, and it's Goddess maneuvering too early here. It's the lackadaisical peak up ramp that we don't anticipate Selax to have rotated in. But Danny, remember, 0 and 7 at the start of the game. 0 and 7, and she has stepped up, coming into this second half like there's no tomorrow. She is playing for the victory, putting the rest of her team on her back from the pistol round to the clutches in the dying embers of this game. MIBR, they do not look like they want to fall over. It looks so dire at multiple parts of this map, but now they have 2 opportunities to close out Ancient. The Killers, they take another tactical pause, their final tactical pause. Have they got enough energy? Have they got that steam and their wind in their sails to try and force us to overtime? Or will this crazy game all just be forgotten?
Everything riding on this round, because MIBR's money is also in a very tight spot. And the Killers winning this could... Oh, no, bro. I was so getting ready. I was getting into it. I was in the zone. So ready for the overtime to happen. Damn.
That is an incredibly tilting. When you're going into your final round potentially, the tension probably couldn't be higher, right? Everyone is at their wits' ends, and it's a technical pause, and you can see they're trying to make trying to laugh in a bad situation. But this is so incredibly brutal for both teams, and you're 12-10 to have to be forced into a technical pause.
That's, man. So I was talking a few rounds back how the technical pause came at a good time to allow them to just kind of reset a little bit. I feel like this has that opposite effect where it's like
it's a tilter.
You're right on the precipice. For MIBR, you're like, we can win the game here. And for the Killers, you're like, if we just get one more round, we can push this to overtime. As a caster, I'm tilted, man. I was so ready. So ready.
Yeah, I've had a lot of issues with technical issues recently. On LAN, we had, with the people we were playing, had their PC just died in a double overtime. No one benefited from that. Everyone, it was third map, double overtime, elimination game. No one wanted to be there. It was the worst thing imaginable, and I cannot even... I sympathize with what the players are going through, but this is higher stakes, and I cannot imagine what's going through their minds right now, having to reset and go back into this round.
I feel like I need to reset. I've been so invested. I suppose that's what we do, right? We tell these stories, and yeah, we get so deep into these teams, these players, their history, their stories, the crazy moments, the potential upsets. The Killers even taking a map in this series could be classified as an upset, and the fact that they've managed to keep it so dangerously close. But now we get back in, folks. Harness that frustration.
This is a different call. They're going straight away. This wasn't the call before the tech pause. This has worked before, but the Killers committed a lot more towards mid last time this worked. This time, Selix and Sammys are a lot more cognizant of this fact, so they're playing close towards Donut. They have to be the heroes of this round.
All right, flash comes through, doesn't stop Gabby. She will just run straight onto the site, mow down with the MAC-10. That opens up the site. HE to come through, clears out the smoke. A ton of chip damage, but doesn't stop that bomb from getting planted. Now the Killers are in position, but they're one player down. Younger ready and waiting, arms wide open with the AWP. MAC-10 in position. Gabby goes on to get yet another one. Hera will finally trade out, but there's still so much more to be done. Poppins has locked in, gets the next two, and it's all down to Bruna. She has to make magic happen, and she can't. Danny with the final kill of this round. Danny with the final kill in so many of our halves. She has brought home this map and this series for MIBR. The upset not to happen, and instead, the favorite